Good morning, Philippines. This is your colleague Marvin, joining all of you in your journey to discovery, decision making, and most especially to making the best of what remote learning or blended learning is challenging us. The challenge may seem insurmountable, but we believe that teachers become better versions of themselves. As the saying goes, sharp iron sharpens iron. Welcome to today's video podcast, sponsored by the new Ilonggo Scientifico YouTube channel. This is a free podcast, and when you are registered and complete the evaluation form at the end of the video podcast, you will receive a certificate of attendance. I'm asking everyone to click the subscribe button below so you can be notified whenever a new video podcast is scheduled. I also have instructional videos, and I am adding these videos for the free use of teachers and students in the classroom. The video podcast today is titled The Basic Tools for Blended Learning. You can interact with the presenter by writing your comments or questions in the comment box, and the presenter will respond to your comments and questions. At the end of the video podcast, the link for the evaluation form will be shared in the comment box, and registered attendees will receive a certificate of attendance after completing the evaluation form. I have seen how my home country has been hit by the pandemic that has all of a sudden changed the way we look at education. I have seen this change coming since 2010, when I had the opportunity to immerse myself in the 21st century learning scenario. There is a lot going on in terms of professional development workshops, webinars, and trainings. But at this point of time, I want to share my thoughts on how schools, administrators, and teachers can prepare for the sudden switch to blended learning. All of a sudden, we are plunged into the sea of challenges and have on our own way paddled through the sea and fixed our eyes on the goal of getting the boat ashore. But do we really understand what blended learning is? The Online Learning Consortium defined blended learning as a course where 30% to 70% of the instruction is delivered online. Blended courses are known as hybrid or mixed mode courses, which are classes where a portion of the traditional face-to-face instruction is replaced by web-based online learning. The blended learning universe for me has the most compelling definition. It defines blended learning as a formal education program in which a student learns in three parts: online, away from home, and along a learning path. Here are the descriptions of ways that students can learn online, away from home, and along a learning path. The first part of blended learning is online, where students learn with some element of control over the time, the place, the path, or the pace of their learning. The second part is learning away from home. And this is the part where students learn in a brick and mortar location away from home. This is where students learn inside the classroom, inside the school building. The third part is learning along a learning path. Students achieve an integrated learning experience when the modalities along a student's learning or learning path are connected. This is achieved when students complete modules that build up on one another. Now that the challenge to blend our students' learning in an online platform, a face-to-face encounter, and an integrated modality are clear to teachers and administrators, how do we address these challenges? Based on my experience with innovating and flipping my science classroom, integrating information and communication technologies into my curriculum, and engaging students to collaborate in real time despite their distance from each other, I wish to lay down these proposals. First, schools need to have a learning management system. This is simply the school's virtual classroom where everyone in the learning endeavor can engage in learning with one another. Administrators, teachers, guidance counselors, students, and even parents. The next capability that schools need at present is to have a corporate digital portfolio. When I say corporate, I mean administrators, teachers, staff, and students have one and the same digital storage system in the cloud. Schools can be prepared for blended learning when everyone has this online portfolio so that they can access anywhere they are and then they can share files with each other. Students can call this as their digital backpacks. The third capability is an online feedback system, which allows students to complete assignments, assessments, quizzes, and examination using an online platform, and teachers can access, evaluate, and provide feedback on. So I will also wish to propose the following approaches. We teach students how to utilize and maximize the potentials of a digital portfolio for learning, assessment, and collaboration. We teach students to be digital citizens and responsible collaborators through the use of a learning management system. We provide students with a direct, quick, and accessible feedback system. With the advent of technology, these proposals are never an impossibility. We have many learning management systems, both paid and free, such as Schoology, Microsoft Teams, Google Classroom, Moodle, Edmodo, and EduFlow, among many others. Google Drive, Office 365, OneDrive, Dropbox, and Evernote are some of the numerous digital portfolio systems that schools can adopt. For some feedback and assessment platforms, schools can use Google Drive, Edpuzzle, Kahoot, and Quizzes, among others. For some, at this point, when teachers are thrilled, delighted, and eager, as well as excited to prepare for blended learning in the coming weeks, I wish for administrators and teachers to focus on these two. As we focus, as we point our laser focus on these two aspects of pedagogy, I believe with all my heart that we can best prepare for the opening of the school year soon. A digital portfolio that stores and manages the teaching and learning materials of both teachers and students in the school. When schools employ a digital portfolio, everyone can share, collaborate, and engage in one or more documents, activities, projects, endeavors, or collective efforts in real time when they are distant from each other. I cannot say enough that this potentiality is perfect for blended learning. The next potentiality is a learning management system. A learning management system facilitates student, teacher, and student-to-student engagement and collaboration, as well as access to and assessment of learning materials. With an LMS, teachers can gather students in one online classroom, where collaboration and engagement, access to learning materials, and assessments can be done even when teachers and students are distant from each other. An LMS can invite supervisors and teachers, head teachers, team teachers, guidance counselors, speech therapists, paraprofessionals into the online classroom so that they can continue to provide the learning and support to learning in blended learning situations. Students can communicate and engage in learning with each other so they can collaborate on any assignment. They can complete assignments and projects in the online classroom. And parents can be invited too, so they can check on their own child's progress in class. I can also say, and I cannot say enough, that this potentiality is also perfect for blended learning. So there are two basic skills that I wish teachers and administrators to consider for blended learning. First, we teach our students how to use a digital portfolio so they can access, they can store, and they can retrieve learning materials in their digital portfolio. They can work with a partner, they can work with a team, or they can work with a whole class on a given task or project using the different apps within the portfolio. They can access assessments, they can access quizzes, they can complete these assignments and quizzes and retrieve these assessments and quizzes. Next, we teach students how to be both responsible digital natives and digital citizens through an online learning management system. Students can have a social media platform in the classroom where they can engage and interact with teachers and students, collaborate with students, access learning materials, and access the complete projects and assignments. How do we teach these skills to our students? So here's the deal of this presentation. Teachers can first train for these skills to prepare them for blended teaching and learning. We can streamline the preparations to two. First, a digital portfolio, and second, a learning management system. With these two focused points, administrators and teachers can decide which platforms to use. Schools can decide on which suite platform they want to use in school. Both Google Workspace for Education and Office 365 Education are suite platforms. They have a package of applications embedded within their suite, and these apps are seamlessly integrated with each other. Meaning to say, you can use one or more apps in a single app that you are working with. You can compare how Google Drive and how OneDrive looks in terms of functionality. They can both store files in the same way. And teachers can create folders and files and upload various types of files in both drives. You can also compare Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams. In terms of functionality, they both provide engagement, collaboration, access, and submission capabilities. Teachers can upload materials and assignments, as well as allow students to work on the same documents for assignments or projects. In terms of interface, one can compare Google Drive and OneDrive and decide which one best serves the educational goals of the school. In terms of interface, one can compare Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams and decide which one best serves the school's management systems. In blended learning and even in remote learning, Administrators can share and collaborate on files with teachers, and teachers can share and collaborate on files with other teachers. Teachers can share files with students, and students can share and collaborate on files with other students. In each of these suites, there are word processors, spreadsheets, presentations and surveys, and quizzes, among many other apps, which are available as powerful tools to use in the classroom. Word processors are known as Google Docs for Google Workspace and Microsoft Word for Office 365. Spreadsheets are referred to as Google Sheets in Google Workspace and Microsoft Excel in Office 365. Presentations are called Google Slides in Google Workspace and Microsoft PowerPoint in Office 365. Surveys are using Google Forms for Google Workspace and Microsoft Forms for Office 365. With both Google Docs and Microsoft Word, teachers can create, can store, and can retrieve, and can share lesson plans, interactive teaching modules, and interactive lesson text. Students, on the other hand, can collaborate with each other in writing their essay reports or research projects. There are many other capabilities of Google Docs and Microsoft Word as a word processor. Notice how similar are Google Docs and Microsoft Word in terms of interface and functionality. As word processors, they can be powerful tools in both teaching and learning in the online classroom. With both Google Sheets and Microsoft Excel, teachers can create, can store, can retrieve, and can share gradebooks, activity timelines, many others, and collect information about surveys and results of assessment, quizzes, and examinations. Students can also collaborate with each other in the analysis of trends in their experiments, can record experimental or research data in their record books, and can create graphs to analyze and represent their data. With both Google uh, Slides and Microsoft PowerPoints, teachers can create, store, retrieve, and share lesson presentations, group projects, interactive lessons, educational games, and many others. Students can collaborate with each other as they create project presentations that the teacher shares with them as well. Now notice how similar Google Slides and Microsoft PowerPoint are. As a classroom tool, they can be useful in these examples as lesson presentations or collaborative project outputs. With both Google Forms and Microsoft Forms, teachers can create, can store, can retrieve, and can share surveys on student information, family background, as well as assessments and self-grading quizzes and examinations. These are very helpful since forms can already grade the quizzes or examinations for teachers and allow them to analyze test results. These are examples of Google Forms and Microsoft Forms. And these two examples, they are used as a survey and as a graded quiz, respectively. In both instances, they show their capability to collect and store information about students. With both Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams, teachers can create online classes, can invite students, can upload learning materials, learning modules, can assign collaborative projects, and discuss questions with students in the online classroom. Teachers can post announcements, allow materials to be accessed by students. They can post assignments, and they can engage students in discussion and collaboration. Students can also post, students can respond to post, students can access learning materials and modules, and students can submit projects and assignments, and they can receive their assignments and project grades, as well as feedback in an online classroom. Here you can see Google Classroom and Microsoft Teams as learning management systems for the classroom. In terms of pricing, you can find the basic comparison between Google Workspace for Education and Office 365 Education. You can check each of the company's websites for more comparison. And as educational institutions, you can apply for a Google Workspace account or an Office 365 account. I can never emphasize so much the need to settle for the basics. Whether it is blended learning or totally remote learning, we need to decide on two basic capabilities, two basic skills for both students and teachers. We can structure the classroom that will give students the elements of control in an online setup. We can teach our students how to use a digital portfolio so they can access, they can store, they can retrieve learning materials in their digital portfolio. They can work with a partner. They can work with a team or the whole class on a given task or project using the different apps within the portfolio. They can access assessments and quizzes. They can complete these assessments and quizzes and can retrieve these assignments, assessments, and quizzes. We teach students on how to be both responsible digital natives and digital citizens through an online learning management system. Students can have a social media platform in the classroom where they can engage and interact with teachers and students, collaborate with other students, access learning materials, and access and complete projects and assignments. So what is the next step to do? I am challenging the administrators and teachers to do a big favor for our students. Focus on the first two basic tools and skills for blended learning. Administrators can have a choice of which suite to use in school so that teachers can focus on only one suite to train and be very good at it. When teachers are trained and become their best selves in these online tools, then our students benefit much from learning and enjoying school remotely. Honestly, I am a kind of person who is shy to lay down my cards on the table. Moreover, I am a kind of teacher who would feel dejected whenever I offer my support and it is rejected. That is why I only wait for invitations. But if you are interested, I am more than willing to conduct hands-on workshops on Google tools. As a certified Google educator, we can learn together on how to use Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, and Google Classroom. As I have done so in the past, I had trained teachers in the Philippines with these Google tools for a total of 6 hours hands-on. I am inviting you to visit my website. It has all the 44 workshops that I have conducted since 2010 as a New York City educator. You can find my email addresses and you can reach out to me using any of these. I am presenting as well my research textbooks, which was published in 2002 and was reprinted in 2018. Please let me know if you are interested in purchasing copies of my book. Thank you very much for your interest in my YouTube channel. This is your colleague, Marvin CADORNIGARA, video podcasting directly from New York City. Please register for the upcoming video podcast webinars that are scheduled for the whole month of July. These webinars are free. All you need is to register in order to receive a certificate of attendance. You can find the registration links for these individual webinars. Lastly, if you have not done so, please click the subscribe button below. You will be notified if a new instructional video or a new podcast is available. This YouTube channel is purely a service to education, and I am not getting any money from my channel. You can see that the videos are never interrupted by advertisements. Finally, the link to the evaluation form on the comment box. Once again, thank you very much, and I wish to see you in the coming video podcast webinars. Thank you very much.